All right, today we're going to be taking a look at the Masters of the Universe Revelation Wave 1 series figures. We got He-Man, Skeletor, Mossman, and Evil-Lyn. Now, as of right now, these are timed exclusive to Walmart stores here in the United States. Now, previously on the channel, we've already reviewed the Skelegod and Battle Cat figures, which are timed Target exclusives. But as of right now, you can only find these figures at Walmart. $19.99 is the retail price. You get 30 points of articulation. You get 7-inch figures, or at least figures in the 7-inch scale. Highly detailed, lots of accessories, great articulation. All the packaging is within the same realms. Everything has the nice same look and aesthetic. You get your open window box display. Up in the top right hand corner, you get your Netflix call out because the show premieres on July 23rd. You get Masterverse up there at the top. You get your barcode, you get your 30 points of articulation call out. You just get the logo down here at the bottom as well as the character's name. On the right hand side of the packaging, we get this beautiful artwork of each character. It wouldn't be a Masters of the Universe toy if we didn't have some awesome, painted style artwork here. And it follows along the side of the back. We get, a nice little bio. We get the cross sell of each figure, but each package has its own awesome artwork on the back as well as the side that is unique and individual to the character. And then on the left-hand side, we just get some dark silhouette of the name of the character and then a slight little, brief description, He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe. Evil-Lyn is the evil warrior goddess, yada, yada, yada. But you get the gist. Let's go ahead and open these bad boys up and check them out up close and personal. Get them out of their plastic prison. What do you say? Now that we have the figures out of the plastic prisons, let's go ahead and check out the first in the line. Of course, you got to start with He-Man, the main man himself. We got the blonde hair. It's got a darker wash to it, so it does have some, darker brown tints to it just to add a little more detail to the sculpt. We do have an H on the power harness as opposed to the Iron Cross that we're normally getting. His normal wrist gauntlet here, but here on the left hand, we have this larger leather bracelet gauntlet type of thing instead of the standard wrist bracer over here, and there is no replaceable one. Good thing is, if you don't like that, you can take it completely off. Bad thing is, you don't get a second one of these, so it'll look a little weird. But, I guess, changes for the show. Obviously, these new looks are not going to be for everybody. The show is probably not going to be for everybody. There are going to be some people out there that said, oh my God, it ruined my childhood. But, move on, folks. It's just a television show. But overall, it's a good looking figure. One detail I do wish was a little bit different is I do wish the belt over here on his loincloth and everything, I wish it was a different color. Just this lighter yellow blends it too much in with his super tan surfer boy skin. If this was the bright orange that we're typically accustomed to, I think it would stand out and pop a little more. We do have some nice texture details of the loincloth. Nice little soft plastic, is pliable, you can move it around. I do like that we have the brown fur around the boot as well as, a different color boot, whereas in the past figures have typically been all one color, just for cost-cutting measures. And for $20, I think we're actually getting a heck of a deal. One thing to note is he has pinless elbows and knees, which is quite impressive. And he does have, great articulation. This Revelation, Masterverse line all have great articulation, 30 points in total. All the figures across the board are going to be the same articulation-wise as far as what moves and where it moves. The only real differences will be slight character differences, like, where their hair lies will prevent how far the head moves back, or, how their feet are situated will prevent how far and forward and back, things like that. But overall, for across the board, all the articulation is relatively the same, so we're going to knock it out all in one, and we're just going to start with He-Man here. So his head is on a ball joint, but the ball joint, let me go ahead and pop it off, show you. Only allows you to go forward and backwards. There's no like spinning around side to side or anything like that. So it is going to limit and range your motion. Positive side note is you can pop off the head and switch it out with other heads for the Masters of the Universe Origins line and things like that. They all use the same peg size. So that is a cool swappable accessory option. Same thing with the hands. You can swap the hands out with the different Origin lines. And a lot of the accessories are also interchangeable, things like the power harness. But articulation, head, it's gonna look that far down. Not gonna be able to look too far up, again, because of his hair hitting there. Not gonna have that side to side because of the ball joint, but you will be able to spin it 360 degrees. Shoulders up and out, 360 degree rotation at the shoulder, 360 degree rotation at the bicep. Double jointed elbow, again, pinless elbow, so that is impressive. 360 degree rotation at the wrist. Horizontal wrist and that is just super disappointing. Obviously, He-Man known for carrying a giant sword, so the fact that he has a horizontal hinge hand doesn't allow that wrist to go up and down with the sword where it normally should and would go for any person that's actually trying to swing a sword. So it is disappointing that we're getting this horizontal hinge instead of a vertical hinge on both the hands. He does have an upper torso ball joint there, so you can spin that around 360 degree. He has a lower torso, spin that 360 degree as well. Legs are going to kick that far forward, but they do have like some resistance to it. Like I'll let go and the leg wants to drag back down. They are in a ball joint, so you're going to be able to get him to do, you know, his calisthenic splits. Be able to pull the leg back, but not too crazy far because it will hit the diaper there. And then you're gonna have a thigh cut, 360 degree rotation there, the double jointed knees. He can almost kick his butt. The only thing that's really preventing him is the fur on his boot. The other characters, for the most part, are gonna be able to kick their butt because they all have that double jointed knee. You're gonna have your boot cut up top. You're gonna be able to hinge the foot forward and back. And then you're also gonna rock side to side, and you'll have standard peg holes at the bottom. And let's hurry up and measure them real quick. We got 7 inches for He-Man. Looking at 7 inches as well for Skeletor. Evil-Lyn just a hair under 7, so 6 3/4 it looks like, and then Mossman just a tad over 7 inches. So everything is as advertised. In terms of accessories, of course, wouldn't be He-Man without his shield. Shield does have some molded straps here in the back, and they do slide over this wrist bracelet, gauntlet, whatever you want to call it, which is nice, and it kind of locks in place pretty well, so you're not going to be like losing the shield anywhere. But standard normal looking He-Man shield with the rivets all the way around. He does have some interchangeable hands as well, other gripping hands. Again, these are all horizontal hinged hands, and they have very small pegs there, but no vertical hands, but we do get 2 interchangeable gripping hands. So if you want to swap those out, and of course, you got to have the power sword. Looks great in his hand. It's a shame that, again, horizontal hinge versus vertical hinge. It really needs to have a vertical hinge so you can swing the sword like that, because nobody swings a sword like this. That's not how you use a sword. But regardless, for $20, I think it's a great figure. In fact, I think these are all great figures. So let's go ahead and move on. Next, we have Skeletor, of course, looking exactly as Skeletor should and would. We got the bone face. We got this hood that is molded onto the head, has this overarching like drip there. One thing to note, he's got his upper shoulder pad armor, and you'll notice the bones are actually separated here in the chest piece. It's actually attached to the shoulder, so you'll run into situations where you move him and those bones get out of sync and out of alignment with the top and the bottom. So that is a little bit of a nuisance, to say the least. Overall though, he is a good looking figure. Like I said, he looks like Skeletor. You can put him on a shelf 20 feet away, and anybody who walks in your room is like, oh, okay, yeah, that's totally Skeletor. So he's not such a drastic revision for this new show that he is unrecognizable. We got some nice details on the shoulder as well as the loincloth. There's some leather texture to it. We got the little studded rivets at the ends, which is nice. One thing is a little bit of a disappointment is this cloth cape. I mean, it is the most basic cloth cape you could possibly get. It's just essentially just a cut square. I mean, there's no anything to it. There's no flare. There's no jagged edges. It's just a straight piece of tissue paper hanging off of it. Really kind of feels like they phoned that in, but you can completely take that off. A lot of people are used to seeing Skeletor without a cape. You pop his head off, take the shoulder armor off, and then slide the cape off, put the shoulder armor back on, you'll be good to go. One thing to note he does have some interesting like line work here on the forearms, where normally it would be like a wrist armor or things like that, but it's the same color as his skin, so that just makes it look like that is part of his skin, so we're gonna have to assume that is part of his skin. Same articulation as He-Man. The only real difference is his feet are really gonna be able to go crazy far down, crazy far up with those monster feet. We got those nice painted toenails for the monster feet, and his, you know, shin pad armor and everything looks good. He's a good looking figure. Very imposing Skeletor, scary, ominous, obviously a great casting choice for the voice of him in this show. It's going to be voiced by Mark Hamill, which I absolutely love. And of course, Skeletor comes with some awesome accessories. So we have his Havoc staff. Great details on this. Very, very tall Havoc staff. I mean, if you put it side by Skeletor, it is exactly as tall as him, and it's extremely top heavy. So this, you know, the ram head up here, it is very, very top heavy. So even if I put this in his hand, I'm willing to bet it's gonna fall over, just because there's no way, yeah, there's no way that's gonna stay upright unless it's touching the ground. And not only do you get the Havoc staff, but you also get the Shaping staff, which is again a nice little bonus accessory to come with Skeletor. So you can double whammy it, have 2 staffs in each hand. And speaking of hands, he does have interchangeable hands as well as accessories. So we have this handshake / throat grabbing hand. Then we have another gripping hand that has an extended index finger. Very, very scary looking, but that is Skeletor in a nutshell. And of course, next up, we've got Evil-Lyn, looking great with her classic headdress helmet, the skull on top. She's got some blue fur lining the collar here. Got a long tunic, sleeveless, got some nice faux texture to it, so it feels leathery. The belt is all molded around the waist here, attached to the tunic, so it's not separate. You're not going to be able to manipulate it anyway. She does have this little side belt here that is also molded in there, but it is able to move. Technically, you could put something in that little keyhole there. Some nice line work here. We've got a nice little kind of hook-shaped design here at the bottom of the tunic. We've got the textured boots, again, making it look nice and faux leatherous, pirate boot style with the cuff up here at the top. Overall, you know, looks like your standard Evil-Lyn figure. The face details, absolutely nailed it on this one. The other one, like He-Man, he's a little toned down and muted. He doesn't even have painted lips, so it looks a little bland in the face, but she's got extra details for sure. She's got the dark ruby red lips. The upper lip is actually darker than the lower lip, and she's even got some smoky eyeshadow, beautiful eyebrow line work and everything. Everything's straight, and it's not, you know, wonky or touching or anything like that. So they actually did a really great job with her face details and her eyes and everything. She comes with multiple accessories just like the rest of them. So she has a short wand here, so her normal claw wand. The purple ball in the middle is semi-translucent. You can't fully see through it, but it is able to get some light through it and get some nice reflections and everything. And then she also has the staff version of the same thing, same exact thing, same ball top and everything. The only real difference is the length. So this one is a full-on staff that is almost as tall as she is. And she comes with multiple different hands as well. So she's got 2 closed fists, so a left and right, so you can have complete closed fist for her. And then we're gonna have an open gripping hand, and then a semi-closed gripping hand. So this is going to be something for the staff or the wand for sure. Evil-Lyn also does come with a different interchangeable head, this time without her headdress or helmet on. So she's got her long flowing white hair, and they even did a nice job, you know, sculpting the front strands here so they lay nicely onto the blue collar and the blue fur and everything like that. So it's a definite awesome accessory to have, and I'm glad they included it. Since she is a smaller scale figures in terms of girth and everything like that, it is a nice bonus feature to get an added head and hold them side by side. You can see it's the same face and everything, just obviously the hair and the headdress is the big change. And then last but not least, she also comes with this little messenger bag, because that's immediately what you think of when you think of Evil-Lyn. You think of her carrying a messenger bag, but I'm not going to be too harsh about this accessory just because I haven't seen the show yet. So this could be contextually important to the show and the character, but it seems kind of out of a place to have her with a messenger bag. You know, pop the head off, slide it over her shoulder, and it'd be good to go. Nice little red accents on the left side, little silver buckle, but overall, she's probably the highlight of the wave if I had to say right now, just because of the extra added details in her face and everything. She just has a little more personality than everybody else. But then again, I say personality, and here we are with Moss Man. Pretty much looks like Swamp Thing or Man Thing at this point. He is, for all intents and purposes, a Swamp Thing action figure with a Beast Man head. Love him, hate him, whatever your opinion on, he is a pretty neat looking figure. Obviously got all sorts of intricate sculpting details on him. I mean, he's got vines and tentacles growing anywhere, everywhere out of him. He's got, you know, some moss around his faux loincloth. His back and shoulders are all mossy. He's not flocked by any means. This is all, you know, hard plastic. We got the roots and the trunk tentacles for his feet, which is a nice detail. Got the mossy knee pads again. Everyone's got these double jointed body parts without pins, so everything looks pretty good. My only real concern and critique here for him is two things. Number one, he has these two protruding like leaves growing out, one here on the shoulder and one here on the forearm, which is great, but they're very fragile. I mean, I can see a lot of people probably inadvertently or purposely trying to manipulate this and move this around and then just snapping these off. So be careful that you don't snap these off. And the second critique I really have is the coloring. So, you know, we got her shoulders and the chest is this bright mossy green, and it goes straight into the biceps and it's a dark green, and there's no like gradation or anything like that. It's just a very sudden change from light green, dark green, and then back to light green. So the colorway is a little all over the place as far as its transitioning, but overall, I mean, he's a cool looking figure. Like I said, even if you don't like the Beastman head, because, you know, it is a Beastman head, he does have, you know, a leaf in the forehead to kind of help differentiate him a little bit. He's got the pointy ears, the green beard. He's got some, you know, tentacles growing out of his forehead, so it's slightly different than Beastman, but you look at the face, it's definitely Beastman. But even if you didn't like it, pop that head off, make your own Swamp Thing or Man Thing action figure, and then you're good to go. He does come with lots of accessories, probably the most impressive set of accessories. So he's got an open gripping hand here, and a second open gripping hand. We're getting 4 fingers on this guy. And then yet again, some more open gripping hands. He's really not known to like hold, or, you know, he's not going to be carrying a staff or anything unless you just like swap him over for the other characters. But he's got lots of gripping hands if you want them. And then he's got this huge hand that's shooting out the tentacles and the vines. You'll notice just how small these wrist pegs are though for these hands. So this one in particular, since it's so long, bulky, and like top end heavy, I would worry about the longevity of this little peg snapping off at that wrist joint. So definitely be careful. But it is posable. Like, you put it in there, he's obviously going to be very forward and top heavy with this on, but such a great accessory. So the fact that you get 4, you know, giant hands and this giant tentacle hand with him is a pretty nice feature, I think. At the end of the day, I'm very happy with this line. I'm happy I picked up all these figures, $19.99, with the points of articulation, the accessories. I think it's a good value. I'll put product links down in the video description box below in case they come in stock. As of the making and the publishing of this video, they were not in stock online as of yet, but that could change depending on whenever you're watching this video. If you enjoyed the content, make sure you hit that like button, share this video with your friends if you found the information helpful, and as always, thanks for watching, guys. It really means a lot.